been films about earthquakes, airplane disasters, and blazing infernos. But there has never been anything like the Devil's Reign.
His face.
That wasn't your father.
What's his face? Mother? Mother! Columbus! Damn you!
They had no faces.
The Devil's Reign. The 300-year search for the power to damn mankind is over.
Fools!
And the towering terror of the devil on Earth is now unleashed.
Burn!
The Devil's Reign. Hundreds of souls held captive in an eternity of hell.
Seize him!
Possessed by the devil.
You, my son, have defiled all that is holy.
Mother, my God, my God!
They become his worshippers and his demons. The Devil's Reign, starring Academy Award winner Ernest Borgnine, Eddie Albert, William Shatner, Keenan Wynn, and Ida Lupino as Mrs. Preston, and with the special participation of Anton LaVey, High Priest of the Church of Satan. The Devil's Reign, conceived by the producer of A Man Called Horse, created by the masters of magic of Planet of the Apes. Together, they bring you a melting hell on Earth, and absolutely the most incredible, unforgettable ending of any motion picture ever. Heaven help us all when the Devil's Reign.
And good morning, everybody. I'm back. I got a long way to go. 50% Nolan is still 100% better than other horror hosts. So welcome back to 31 Days of Monsters. I think they showed everything in that trailer. My God, the trailer is actually better than the movie. Devil's Reign. Oh my gosh. What a cast, right? I mean, you've got an Academy Award winner. You got Ernest Borgnine. You got William Shatner, Ida Lupino, one of the first female directors of film and TV, star of the Golden Age. She's been in movies with Humphrey Bogart. Oh my goodness. And she's stuck in this. Eddie Albert, Ernest Borgnine, Keenan Wynn. And in his first movie, John Travolta, they like to advertise introducing John Travolta in Carrie, which we watched recently. But that wasn't his first. This was his first. This is a year before. This is 1975. Carrie was 76. And after this, he started working on Welcome Back, Kotter and all that other stuff. So I think this is one everybody wants to forget. Borgnine said that this movie was financed by the mafia, and he never got paid for his. I guess he didn't go knocking on their door either. But be that as it may, I'm sure they all regret being in this movie. It's, this is one of those films that for me is like a guilty pleasure because the cast is so good. The effects are actually pretty cool. The makeup's not so, the missing eyeball makeup is pretty, it's okay. But the melting scenes, and Ernest Borgnine's goat head, I think that's really cool looking. I don't know what you guys think, but I thought that was really cool. What else? What else can we talk about with this? Eddie Albert seems like, he's just waiting to get his paycheck. And maybe that's how most of these guys felt. Maybe having this dude, Anton LaVey, the high priest of the Church of Satan. Might have been a red flag that this wasn't a project you wanted to get involved with, but be that as it may, there he was. It could be advertising too, to try and to bolster this thing and make it better, more realistic, if you will. But this is, as I said, it's shot well. You get to see Shatner doing very Shatnerian things in here, which is kind of fun. So Tom Skerritt, it's not his first movie, I don't think, but it's early on in his career. It's let's see, it's 75, so this is 4 years before he did Alien. Not sure what else. I didn't do any research on him, so I'm not sure what else he was in prior to this. If he was in much at all, I don't think so, because he looks pretty young in this. So that's Devil's Reign. We've gotten through it. I hope you guys watched it and enjoyed it. A couple of the other things I want to talk about is, like, while I'm recovering from my surgery, I've been watching some movies that were suggested by you guys. They're sequels to The Shining, for one. I watched Doctor Sleep, and we just did Train to Busan, and so I'd found out there was a sequel to that called Peninsula. So I just wanted to talk a little about those as well. Dr. Sleep started out really good. I had high hopes for this movie. Ewan McGregor is great. It was a really cool concept where we get to see what happens to Dan Torrance. He's an adult. He's fallen into the alcoholism that claimed his father. He doesn't really have direction, but he turns it around. He reaffirms his life, and he starts helping people who are at the end of their lives with peace before they die, using his shine. It's weird that they call this movie Dr. Sleep, because that was his nickname because of what he was doing for these people. But it's it's not very well articulated, or the fact that it's really important to the storyline. I'd have had a better title for that. Dr. Sleep sounds like you're going to put the audience to sleep. And towards the end, they did. But this started out great. There's this group of people called the Knot, and they are almost they live extraordinarily long lives, hundreds, thousands of years, because they extract the shine from people, and they live off of that. They breed off of that. They're kind of these disgusting parasites, and they go around finding people who have the shine. And there's this little girl who has an unbelievable power, this shine power, if you will. It's something like they've never experienced before. And they want to be able to feed, really feed on this one. And by this point, Dan has, turned his life around. He's no longer drinking and stuff. And so he goes to help her. And all those action sequences are really cool. And then where they jumped the shark on this is that they returned to the Overlook Hotel. There was no reason for them to even bring that into the film. That was a whole nother thing. And they were specifically making this as a sequel to the Stanley Kubrick film, as opposed to the Stephen King book. And as we talked about, King did not like the Kubrick film, but the director felt that was more people knew of the Kubrick film than they knew of the book. So that's the sequel they wanted to tie it in with. But then it gets very derivative. So now we've got all these same shots. They linger on all the same things. They rebuilt the sets based upon Kubrick's blueprints that they got from the estate. And then they just rehash stuff with Dan Torrance now instead of Jack Torrance. And so it just there's a chase, there's a bar scene, there's a chase in the hedge maze. It's like we've seen all this before, and they doubled down on it. There's really no reason for them to go there. They said it was because it's really dangerous for people with shines, and so it would be really dangerous for this woman, who, the last surviving member of the knot, to get them there. So I was disappointed in this film because it had so much potential, and it had me along for the ride for quite a while until they got to the hotel, and I'm like, okay, there we go. So that was those are my thoughts on that one. The second film that I saw was Peninsula. I think the full title is Train to Busan Peninsula, which it bills itself as a sequel to Train to Busan, and it's not. In no way is this a sequel. It doesn't have anything that made Train to Busan really great. All it is another derivative. You've seen it before. Zombie film, only they wrap it around a heist to retrieve all this money. And they try to insert some humanity into it and relationship stuff, which is what made Train to Busan so excellent. But it's all forced in there, and the action sequences are just ridiculously over the top. Excuse me. Ridiculously over the top. Indestructible cars that are just mowing down zombies and stuff. Guns that never run out of ammo. This was just, you've seen all of this before, but now I got to read captions. So that one is definitely not recommended at all. You can do a pass on that one. So let's see who is here today. Dr. Mask Retro Elixir is here. He says, welcome back. Thank you. Black Ice is here. Oh, he just finished reading The Chenoo the other day, and it was great. It felt like I was actually watching a horror movie. Oh, excellent. Excellent. Thank you. Shadowhawk Talks is here. Dan Genovese is here. Hello, Dan. H is for Heretic. Says it's alive, the stream is alive. Now I know what it means to be a YouTuber. If you know, you know. Man of War 665, Neighbor of the Beast is here. Hello, the Normie Nerd. He hopes I'm recovering well. I am. Every day is better than the last. Hit that like button, Chris Juliano says. Yes, please. If you're watching this live, hit that like button. If you're catching it in rerun, do the same. And subscribe so that you can make these things live. You'll get notified. Marcus Kelligrew is here. He wishes a hail to all. Fearless Free, Piper Kaiju, who says that, well, the Star Trek connection should be easy to make for this one. LOL. Ida Lupino was never in Star Trek, was she? Cigar Gangster is here. He says, good morning to everyone. It's Not Important is here. Says, hey, yo, Jake Blues. Fearless Freep says, annoying music, endless melting with a technical advisor, the high priest of the Church of Satan. Blah. Yeah. Well, they spent all the budget on all the melting scenes, so they didn't want to cut any of that out, and so they threw it all in. Just melt after melt after melt. Oh, well, I hope this is good. Brian Norton says, I think I've never seen any movie on the list so far. All right. Well, good. I hope some of these are new to me as well. Hyper Kaiju says, a guilty pleasure is a good way to describe this movie. Oh, H for Heretic says that Scarrett was in MASH. Okay. Chris Juliano says there was another film like this called Race with the Devil that had Peter Fonda and Loretta Swit. Steve Lowenthal is on Facebook today. He says, good morning. He hopes I'm feeling better. I am. Every day is better than the one before it. Scar Gangster says, I enjoyed the scene where Shatner pulls out the Colt 1911 from the desk drawer and cocks it. Then he pulls it on 20 people. Just 8 rounds in a magazine don't quite cut it. Yeah, you have to get them to line up if you're going to use the 1911 because it'll punch through. But you better hope they're in a line. You can maybe get 2 for 1 on that. Well, Man of War says Tom Skerritt was in TV for over 10 years at that point. Okay, cool. I didn't know he'd been around that long. And Shadowhawk Talk says Dr. Sleep started well. Terrible ending. Yeah, that was my assessment as well. Sleep was perfect title. It's how I saw the ending. Okay. Oh, we got a super chat here, Man War 665. Couldn't find a get well card worth a damn, so have a cheap hooch or stogie instead. Well, thank you, Man of War, for the 665 super chat. That is really appreciated. Thank you, sir. Dr. Mass says, in Dr. Sleep, the torture scene with the little baseball kid, I was out after that. That was disturbing. That was very disturbing. The knot, the people of the knot, they would take the pain releases the shine, and it's like a smoke that comes out of their mouths, and they stand over it and they breathe it in. So they're like cutting this little. They had this boy tied down, this little baseball kid, and they're cutting him up, and he's releasing the shine, and they're indulging in it. And it's a disturbing scene. Yeah, I know Dr. Sleep was the title of the novel. And I'm sure in the novel he pays more attention to Danny's talents with people that are passing than the movie did. And maybe the title works better there. It just doesn't, it seems like a disconnect from this movie. Shadowhawk Talks needs his Chinook plushie. When? I got to get back on my feet. I got to haul it. I can't lift anything heavier than 5 pounds right now. So, I just you got to be patient, folks. It's coming. I swear they're made. Oh, and the mini print that'll be coming with them, was printed. Julie will be picking those up, probably Monday from the printer. So, it'll be coming soon, guys. I promise. I hate to be such a tease. JP Roca says guns run out of ammo. Not stormtrooper guns. Tony Ellis is here. He says good morning. Chris Juliano agrees that Peninsula was not good. Stippling Vaughn says he's waiting for the Ghost and Mr. Chicken review. Okay, keep waiting. Because that one ain't getting on the list, son. Harry Anders says, I don't know anything about this stuff, but always enjoy Graham's knowledge, wisdom, and narration. Thank you, Harry. And thanks for stopping in. Oh, yeah, Warren Oates probably wasn't supposed. I saw that one late night many months ago. I'm not sure what we're referring to here. Love Warren Oates. Did you ever see him in Bring Me the Head of Alfredo Garcia, the Peckinpah film? Oh, you can almost never find that movie, but it's so great. Plays a character called Benny. John Porton is here. Hey, Mr. Nolan. I hope you are feeling better. Also, I absolutely loved Joe Frankenstein 1 and 2. I am reading them to my 8-year-old nephew, who is thrilled. Can't wait for Ghosts of Metacumba Key. Well, thank you, John. Thank you for your support. Oh, Man of War says he's talking about Race with the Devil. Okay, so War Notes is in that too. All right. Well, gang, it was oh, Chris says agree about the book comment. The script passed over some story points in favor of throwbacks to The Shining. Yeah. Way too much derivation there. Well, it was really good to be back, guys. Great to be talking to you live. The show, when I was recording them, just wasn't the same. It's just like, I like the interaction. That's my favorite part of it, because we've all seen the movie and we all know what it's about, and hopefully I can bring some tidbits that nobody knew about, or to open your perspective on maybe a storytelling aspect or technique or something that was involved in it, because that is my wheelhouse. But without the interaction, it's definitely not the same. So you guys are very much appreciated, and I enjoy doing these things live, which is why I wanted to try and get back as soon as I could. I just got a note from the boss here. Says, oh, yes. Is They Live switching out for a different movie? Yes, it is switching out for the 7th victim. So that is Monday. It's Monday's show. Tomorrow is Return of the Fly, and then Monday will be They Live. So if you have a screen capture of the original list, update it and watch They Live, the John Carpenter film. So we'll be talking about that. So again, guys, thank you for stopping in and sharing the morning with me. Tomorrow, probably around 9 o'clock. Again, we'll talk about Return of the Fly. Until then, it's good to be back. It's great to have your support here. And I guess we will see you tomorrow, right? Okay. Have a good one. Bye-bye.